Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome to episode number 52 of the Unboxing AI webinar series. If you don't know what this is, well, every Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern time, you will generally see my face talking to, some of our friends, partners, collaborators here at CARPL. And if you don't know what CARPL is, you've probably heard me. Well, if you don't know what CARPL is, you've not heard me say this. But for the others, you've heard me say this many times. CARPL is your friendly neighborhood imaging AI platform. We help you navigate the relatively complex ecosystem of AI solutions out there. Absolutely amazing AI solutions, but how do they all come into your clinical practice? We're a platform that allows radiologists to build, test, deploy, and monitor any kind of clinical radiology AI solution. You can choose from our marketplace of almost 175 plus apps, or you can build your own as well. All gets supplied to you through a single user interface, single data channel, and single procurement channel. So, seamless self promotion aside, today I welcome our dear friend and collaborator, Nathan Quinn. Thank you, Nathan, for joining in today.
Yeah, thank you.
Truly,
My
truly
pleasure
an
to be
honor,
here.
and truly an honor to get to know you more in detail beyond the bio and the LinkedIn.
Yes.
So for those of you who don't know Nathan, he's very humble in the bio that he sent to me. So I'm going to modify it a little bit. Uh, so Nathan grew up in Germany, and started working at the age of 18, started a business at the age of 18, essentially served as a business translator, mediating deals between China and Europe. Pretty phenomenal, Nathan. Like it is very inspirational to hear that, and got to know a lot of people in that process. Built out another business on selling knives, kitchen knives. No
Yeah,
audio. I've got a message that says no audio. Are others, I'm assuming, able to hear?
I can hear. Yeah,
Yeah. So BS, maybe some issue at your end.
yeah.
Apologize. But yeah, so Nathan started selling kitchen knives, and then went into the world of healthcare by selling surgical knives, where he designed uh, scalpels and other surgical products for J&J and many other medtech companies. And fast forward to today, he's the founder CEO of Qinnovative. Qinnovative is you can think of them as an investment company, you can think of them as a product development company, and you can think of them as a reseller of medical solutions. And within our world of AI, he's decided to spend considerable amount in bandwidth on cardiac AI, essentially taking patients all the way from angina to discharge, and everything in between. So, Nathan, thank you so much for joining. It's truly an honor.
My
Uh,
pleasure. Yeah.
tell us about being a business translator. Uh,
Yeah, this is journalist. Okay.
what was that like? What does that mean? Like, first time I'm ever meeting somebody who's done that. So, yeah, I meet people who run AI companies a lot, but so yeah,
Yeah,
tell us what that was about.
I think it's as what we call ourselves a third culture kid, like growing up in multiple culture, in that we naturally learned how to speak. Naturally learned how to speak German, English, and Chinese. And being a translator is not only means that you're translating the message from one end A to B, but also translating the culture, the thought process, and that's how I learned how to do business because very young age. I've been translating for successful businessmen who try to do business between Europe and China. And with that, I have been functioning as a bridge person, and which I'm still believing I'm still do by today, right? A bridge person that helping culture, worlds connecting. So now we are at Innovative, we are actually see ourselves a really global company across the world that bridging US, North America, South America, Middle East, Europe, obviously China, that helping people doing business and helping the connecting the clinicians, researchers to get together. So I strongly believe that together we will be able to do more and do better and able to help, especially in healthcare, right?
Yeah.
Bringing the knowledge across the world together to do better things. Yeah.
No, again, before the webinar, we were chatting, and
Yes.
you mentioned that, from an investments portfolio perspective, like your asset under management is almost $200 million.
Yes.
And, you're an investor in like Keya Medical, one of the largest out there. We'll talk about that. Cassis, of course, we know them really, really well, and
Hmm.
Heart.io as well. How do you decide which company to partner with?
Yes. So, as an engineer turned businessman, and I naturally look at technology first, and especially in healthcare, I think it must work. Feasibility is number one. And once a startup company prove itself that the technology works, I think that's a good starting point to look into this business, right? Because in healthcare, once you can solve certain problem and it fulfills certain unmet needs of the user or of the patient, there's value to capture. And even though that as a technologist by background, I understand that it's naturally not easy to turn into a salesman process. And then I have experience in my past through my experience in the hard way. And then I'm here to helping those technologies, I think people out there to turn into some where science meets business. That's our slogan at Qinnovative, right? So allowing the two worlds collect and helping them to do business, that's one of our mission. And with that, I think is also how we invest in people. So really, really talented people with good technology but lack of market access. That's how we can adding value. And naturally, the first step is actually we never invest first and then try to sell the product. Actually, we always sell, okay, let's start together. Let's talk about reselling first. Let's talk about sales first. Let's have a good product. If our team can get it sold to the 1,000, more than 1,000 hospitals out there in the world, then we decide to invest in you, right?
Ah,
Yeah.
nice.
So it's a
So
reverse.
Nathan, if I am, let's say, if I am uh, a founder of a very early stage startup company, let's say building I don't know, an echocardiogram,
Yes.
or let's say, building something that doesn't exist, a cath lab AI, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Like, something that helps me actually do the angioplasty. Uh,
Hmm.
when do I reach out to you? Do I reach out to you only when I have a product that can be sold? Or is there anything that Innovative can provide to me? Let's say like I'm a four people team out of,
Yes. Yes.
out of MIT, let's say.
Yes. Yeah.
And I know that, here's a guy who's building like this entire cardiac AI ecosystem. So
Mhm.
when do I reach out to you? How does that process work?
Well, one of the greatest example is our colleagues at Hard.io, right? Hard.io is a really talented team with Otkars and Michael and Adam. They are like three PhDs, with like a really young team, really talented. And then they started from in Pittsburgh in US. And when they reached out to me, I think I missed three of their emails at the beginning. I didn't know like because I got so many emails. But then I look at the fourth email and I realized, oh, that's great. It's a AI AKG software that actually it almost before FDA right now and they're raising their A rounds and at that point when I know them I realize oh because this technology has a future, right?
Yeah.
If this works with FDA then I will able to sell it to so many cardiologists or
Mm.
customer out there because it has value. So what I mean is like it doesn't necessarily need to be completely done with the product, but the product need to show certain feasibility that I can test in hard IO's case. I send them some AKG data and some of our expertise and KOL doctors send them some data and then see it could be validated to a certain degree of feasibility. And then it means, okay, the rest is just go down the pipeline, right?
Yeah.
Getting FEA, getting more valuable data, and improve it. There's constant improvement of the technology itself as well, but the core technology, core idea must work. And then that's a good point to reach out to me because we are investing most of the time between Andrews round, seed round, and A round maximum. Yeah.
Got it. So that's very insightful. So the key thing, first and foremost, for all the salespeople who've joined in, uh, at least seven is the cold email limit that we have set. You know,
Yes.
you don't give up before seven emails. So here is case in point, right? So
Yeah.
whether it's my
Yeah.
team or anybody else in sales who's joined, you
Yeah.
don't give up without before at least
Yeah.
seven emails. So
Yeah.
no, but so that's very good to know, Nathan, that there are companies like yours out there that are taking bets on care areas, right? Because a normal VC fund doesn't go to that level, right? Like they will have a thesis on, say, healthcare, whereas you
Hmm.
have a thesis on cardiovascular disease, right? So
Correct.
I think that is super helpful.
Mm.
And for everybody who's joined, please ask questions. The whole reason we do this as a webinar and not as a podcast is so that you can ask questions. So use the Q&A box, email me, WhatsApp me, whatever you'd like to do, go for it. Uh, so one of the key tools in your portfolio, Nathan, that gets us most excited is DeepVessel, right? Which is
Correct.
by Keya, uh, FDA approved FFRCT. And, it is no secret that uh, HeartFlow has dominated that industry, right? It's a company we all look up to, we respect them a lot. Now, uh, tell us about DeepVessel. Like, how does DeepVessel compare to HeartFlow if we consider HeartFlow to be the gold standard?
Mhm.
And what's the value?
Yes, I think Hardflow has been did a really great job to educate the market and bringing the technology to the users, and it had did a lot of what we say primary work to get the market understand the value of a digital software that can actually solving something that actually originally really invasive, which is the FFR invasive procedure in the cath lab. Um, Keya's DeepVessel FFRCT and is providing actually the same get the result, the FFR value, but using another technology route. So I think HeartFlow, I think most of the people know out there knows that this is a CFD technology base, which is based on
Yeah.
strong complex mathematical calculations. It's based on supercomputing to get to the FFR value. In
Yeah.
our case, we leveraging our strengths, which is machine learning and especially deep learning technology. And with deep learning, it's not only about the segmentation part, but actually the calculation simulation part of the FFR value. And whenever we have a CT scan, we first create a 3D model out of a CT scan and using CT 3D model, run the FFR simulation. And then with that, we can
Yeah.
get at any point of the coronary tree, we can get to the FFR value.
Oh,
And yeah,
so so it's not specific to
so
a to a blockage or to an area or something like that.
so our model is true anatomy of the patient, first of all, and then second of all is also at any point of the model you can receive capture the FFR value. That's the power of deep learning. Second of all, our processing power is really, really less. We take it as a joke that say, hey, any gaming computer out there can run this algorithm.
Oh, wow.
That's
It runs on-prem. Does it run on-prem?
yes, we can do so. That's and then one differentiator. What we do is like we can do on premise. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Wow.
Um, yeah. So especially for when we talk about data privacy, when sensitive data in the clinics, hospital like to use our service because we can just install on their server, and they can execute it on their terms, right? Which is one of the big differentiators. I think on the third part, of course, we say
Yeah.
because we are really thankful that Hartfield did all the market education, and then but this it benefited us a lot because user understand the value of our service, then on top of that, we have a higher pricing competition advantage because our less processing power, so we are more cost efficient in overall health economy perspective. You muted, Vidur. Yeah.
There's also the whole play of being able to very simply not have to send data to the cloud, right? I think a lot of CIOs are worried about that. A lot of countries like Singapore, for example, Australia,
Yeah.
are very reluctant to send data to the cloud. So I think it's pretty, uh, incredible what you've been able to do.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so we have a strong collaboration with AWS on the international market. So whenever at each country, whenever a customer demand, okay, we want a local cloud, we can just set it up right away.
Yeah.
And then if they have their own personal cloud or local cloud, we can also do that as well. Mm.
Nice. That is quite amazing. Moving on from that, Nathan, prior to starting the webinar, you showed me the entire vision that you have of from angina to treatment. If you don't mind, can you show that to our viewers? Since there's no questions that we've got as yet, I think it might be
Oh,
useful to
okay.
go into
Yeah.
that.
Sure. Give me 1 second. I think it's pretty common that these days when we like yeah, so basically one aspect of it is like we have been or I have been really concentrated on cardiology. It's where my heart beats, right? To offering more because as um, one of our new initiative is called cardiac intelligence, where we really focusing on CAD diseases, which is the leading cause of death globally, and then 9 million lives taken every year, and especially 12 million invasive procedures has been done every annually worldwide. So there's a huge need to reducing this number by
Hmm.
using non-invasive procedures. And long story short, I would say some key facts that we know that through our clinical guidelines, right? There's over 126 million individuals are suffering from this disease, and then 9 million deaths related to CAD each year. And our main diagnosis tool as is EKG, lab test, coronary angiography, CT, MRI, MI, echo. And the one who is making decisions are the general practitioner, cardiologist, intervention cardiologist, and cardiac surgeon. And all our job should be in every health system, right? Should
Yeah.
be moving this last 10% on the right side towards the other 45%, which we can treat maybe with medicine or even through lifestyle. And I think the biggest trend right now is definitely it doesn't matter where we are on the world, every health system is going to early diagnosis, early treatment, and early prevention, right? And from
Right.
the digital standpoint, I think our health system is still suffering from three aspects. It's lack of access, lack of automation, and lack of data integration. So
Hmm.
doctors have no overview over what happened on this patient if a patient goes from the hospital A to hospital B, right? Everything needs to be done, redone completely. So there's a lot of risk involved, a lot of misdiagnosis involved, and false positive rates are quite high in that case, and also diagnosis precision. So at Qinnovative or as our cardio business, we dedicate ourselves as a mission to offer the best-in-class um, intelligence out there, AI intelligence out there to provide to our cardiac health professionals so they can actually worry less about analysis, but more focused on diagnosis and treatment. And so with that, our technology will provide to one-click solution from scan to clinical report, basically. Yeah.
Nice. That's quite awesome. I think Nathan, we've got some questions in.
Yeah. Yes.
The first is from Shruti from our team.
Yes.
She asks, in your experience, how do most successful radiology AI companies measure and communicate value? And that is, beyond the accuracy metrics.
Beyond accuracy metric. Yeah, so I mean, one of the high, definitely important aspect is do you get reimbursement? Right? So, convincing the system and from the health economic standpoint is the major pain point of all AI business today, I think, in any health system across the world. Convincing is not we need to only convincing clinicians, but also convincing the payers to pay for that. And then that's is actually a huge hurdle, which meaning life and death for the AI companies, right, in healthcare.
Mm,
And the second of the communicating value is definitely that we are not here to replacing healthcare professional, but we're here to enhancing um, our healthcare professional to be more
yeah.
efficient. Because a lack of access integrations comes from lack of doctors and healthcare professional everywhere. And if we can bridging this through AI, that will be the true value that we bring into the system. The third aspect is definitely the health economics standpoint, that how much can we save? It's a saving topic
Yeah.
to the system. For US as an example, US spends more than $3 trillion every year on healthcare spendings, right? And this in
Mm.
comparison this is the whole GDP of Germany. And with
So
that,
US healthcare system is the fourth largest economy in the world.
correct. And then, but the healthcare is still there to saving money, right? Saving
Yeah.
it from structural heart disease and how can we capture them earlier? So if AI can capture them earlier, we're actually
Yeah.
saving the system a lot of money.
No, in
So
fact,
that's
on that point, Nathan, sorry, I'm
yeah. Go ahead.
interjecting.
Yeah.
So Dr. Suresh Mukherjee has just asked a question. He says, I
Okay.
believe heart flow can be reimbursed through a temporary APC payment in the
Hmm.
US.
Right.
Is this based on a type of analysis or is this product specific? Is your company also able to qualify for this payment in the US?
Yes, so the Medicare generally reimbursing this with a CPT code. I think
Wow.
75530 or 80. So it's not dedicated to heart flow, but also dedicated to anybody out there. So it's not only us, right? We see new competitors coming in, and we also know clearly Elucid that
Yeah.
trying to launching on Siemens even trying to launching their FFRCT applications. We have also plaque quantifications, right? We have coronary fat analysis, so the CAT-RAT 2.0, all of the stuff that the doctors are looking for. We have a whole pipeline behind that, but we need time to get it to the FDA slowly, but
Yeah.
FFRCT is the first step, yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Then we have a couple of more questions. We'll quickly go through them. We have very less time.
Yes.
One is, from an anonymous attendee. What are the slowest steps in AI evaluation or procurement in the pipeline today? And then we have the Chat GPT double dash. How are companies overcoming those?
Okay, slowest step in the AI evaluation or procurement pipeline today.
Yeah,
I think procurement is definitely slow.
yeah.
We're reaching end customers because administrative procedure at any hospital is really long.
And Nathan, honestly, I think the next question is also tied to that from Gaurav.
Yeah,
Where he asks how has the sales function evolved over the last 10, 12 years. I think that's
yeah,
very very good insight that you can provide, right? Like
yeah.
2012 was when you started and today is 2025. Like how has the sales process of
Hmm.
selling, say, medical device technology changed over the past 10, 15 years?
Yes, the last 10, 15 years definitely from technology standpoint changed a lot, right? 15 years ago, we don't have any AI applications. We're
Yeah,
still
yeah,
selling minimal invasive. We go to from invasive to minimal invasive
yeah,
treatment, right? Cancer, we cut off the whole gut out and then throw it away. And now we just have opened up 12 millimeter points and then treating
yeah.
it. That was one thing. And from minimal invasive to early diagnosis to digital treatment, that's kind of where it goes. And but unfortunately, our system worldwide is still catching up quite slow. So from a sales
Mm.
process perspective, a lot of things didn't change.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
and but in other side, we see a policy like value-based care. We see volume-based procurement where it put a lot of pressure on um, manufacturers and hospitals to be more accurate about how they prescribing things, which is actually a good thing because efficiency then is more prioritized than interpersonal relationship, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is a positive factor that has been developed in the last 10 to 15 years. But overall, yes, in terms of if you want to sell a product, get into the clinics, we say FDA first, then reimbursement, and
Yeah.
then business, right? That's kind of a three-step to get to the, if you
Which is,
miss,
which is so difficult, right, Nathan? Because today, to be able to build something that you have so much confidence will be valuable after FDA, after reimbursement. Uh, and that's why we see such less number of companies succeeding, and those that succeed, turn into, like, Keya is a, you mentioned, a $600 million valuation company. So,
correct, yeah.
very, very inspirational.
Yeah, so
Look,
therefore, at this point, is investors are really, really important, right? So
yeah,
investors participation, understanding the healthcare business,
yeah,
is rare. I would say it's under all
correct.
the investors out there. I think healthcare investors have the most patient, have the most risk,
Yeah,
but also at the end of it has the most return of investment at the end of
correct,
it.
correct,
Yeah,
correct.
and I think we need more and more investors in that field to supporting our healthcare system, healthcare startup to
No,
survive
I
and
think that's a great shout out to our investors, right? We are very, very uh, honored to be working with, somebody who trusts a slow moving industry, but then, once it starts moving, it's there is no going back. So that's awesome. Final question, Nathan. If I am, again, if I am those three people starting an AI radiology or AI cardiology company today,
Mhm.
what advice would you give me?
Um, First of all, definitely look at the okay, obviously, hopefully those three people are like really talented AI engineers these days.
Yeah,
And
everybody is an AI engineer, Nathan. Today, even I'm one.
yeah, yeah. So the world needs really talented engineers and especially biochemists, bioengineers
Yeah,
today, because everything else could be replaced by AI in the next 10 years. Second of all, I think looking at unmet needs. I mentioned before in my slides, like lack of integration, lack of data access, and then
yeah,
lack of communication. And I think this is what the healthcare needs. And doesn't matter, you don't need to focus on cardiology or radiology, but overall our health system going
yeah.
towards early diagnosis, early preventive, and early care. And those are definitely the future need, and any kind of type of disease states. And focus on one disease state and dive deep into it because
Yeah.
healthcare business still need a lot of expertise instead of becoming a generalist, become a specialist. Yeah.
I think that is a great note to end on. Become a specialist, not a generalist. I think that is true for most. Like, generalists are now, I think, just commoditized with the way AI is, and the same probably we're going to see in our world as well. So thank you, Nathan. Thank you for doing this. Means a lot. Thank you to everybody who joined. Yeah, see you same time next week, same place. Take care.
Yeah, thank you, Vidur. Thank you for the invite. Thank you, everyone.
Goodbye. Thank you,
Everyone.
Johan, for the comment. Thank you. See you. Bye.
Everyone. Bye.